Hello, and welcome to part 2 of our second and final reading for The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. So in this next part, we'll be looking at chapters 7 to the epilogue, and that is the entirety of book 2 in the book. And then we'll get into some discussion, and it'll be a good time. Enjoy!
So what are we on? Chapter 7? I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Chapter 7. The Man on Putney Hill. The Noratus meets the artilleryman again, who talks a long while about his predictions and plans for the future. The narrator then realizes he's full of shit.
And then the narrator fucking leaves. Because he's like, my wife! Right!
My wife!
My wife. I really like this chapter. Because
it's fun. I like his little predictions.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's actually kind of like... And it's one of the few instances in the book where it's like, when he's telling this to the narrator, it's like this little ray of hope, where he's just like, oh yeah, no, I think that could happen. Like, all right, you have some optimism, sir. Gotcha.
But you have no work ethic. So I'm gonna abandon you and steal your idea.
Yeah.
Or something.
And he compared them to ants again.
Yeah, you did compare them to ants.
Ants. More ants. Yeah, no, I like this chapter. This was the one that kind of got me more kind of caught my attention more. And then I was like, okay, no, I really like this style of writing. And then the end of me, I was just like, oh, this author's just an asshole. Like, he's like, wow, what a great bunch of ideas that guy had. My wife's still in Leatherhead, isn't she? Fuck. I gotta go. Did they ever talk about any kind of fluid in the aliens that would be equivalent to blood? I don't think so. Right?
Yeah, he said that they had a heart which pumped
blood.
True.
That might be why they thought. Like, that might be why they were tearing them apart. To be like, oh, they have this. This probably pumps blood. Also, there's a lot of blood that's coming out of them.
Yeah, but quite obviously their plan was eat ourselves at the earth and then just eat the animals that are there without knowing what they are.
Yeah, no, it's the stupidest
or
thing.
Or whether you can eat them.
Yeah.
As the equivalent
tasty munch.
As the equivalent of us going to Mars and not checking whether there's atmosphere. Just be like, yeah, it's probably oxygen there.
They were just really hungry. Or thirsty in this case. I wonder what.
Thirsty. Chapter 8. Dead London. Do do do.
Womp womp.
Womp womp. The narrator wanders aimlessly through London with the sound of the dying Martian in the air. He comes across a pit where the Martians have all died of disease. And it's a funny one because, I mean, I knew that's probably how they were going to die. Like, from the beginning, I was
literally
thinking,
said that. I was like, they're going to die from disease.
Yeah, like, the first thing they did, like, we've all learned, like, you put the Europeans in the fucking New World and everyone's gonna die of disease.
Yeah.
So
then low.
But like it just, I was thinking there's got to be something more interesting than that. Like oh, they fight them off and then they just
fucking die.
Just rotted. I'm like, okay.
and like, weren't like the dogs like eating them or something?
Yeah.
Or at least chewing on the machines or something. I was like, fuck yeah.
and the crows were all like gnawing at them.
Yeah. Yeah, unceremonious. Exactly. Yeah. Like, he came upon them and they were already dead. And I was like, oh.
I mean, he wasn't that horny.
I did the dying sound of being the ula ula ula. That was kind of interesting. I was like, oh. Oh god. Little. But yeah, it was just that was the answer. They died of fucking disease from the blood that they were drinking, and I was like, they didn't think about that
Yeah, like,
at all.
well, yeah, but there's no bacteria on Mars, so how could they know?
But Martians drank blood on Mars all the time, and they were fine. Yeah, I think it's because it was also a lot of buildup,
we totally
and then it just
glossed
happened.
over the description of the weird ass little cone heads that they took along with them as snacks.
Oh, honestly, I do remember that vaguely, but I think I glossed over a lot of it because I was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
He's like, yeah, they brought a bunch of like humanoids with them to snack on, and they had like pointy cone heads and weird big fish eyes.
What the fuck?
Okay.
Oh. All right, there, HULs. Mm-hmm.
So these guys aren't necessarily the Martians. Like,
Yeah.
There's more than one race on Mars, and one of them's subjugated. And
I guess.
And this guy was talking about how they're gonna subjugate us and use us as food, and he's like, "Nah, seems far fetched."
Yeah, it would never happen. Yeah, just the suddenness of it. I was like, oh. I mean, I was happy because I was like, oh, I predicted right. They died of fucking disease. But like, but I also wondered like how, like the way that he wrote it was saying that they had been there for like a while, like they died and they'd been there for either hours or days or whatever because they're rotting. But like, he had seen other Martians alive and well at the time, and like because when this is introduced, it's almost like from that point on, all the Martians are dead. The problem is solved. I was like,
Yeah.
What? Like, excuse me. So so I was having a hard time visualizing like the timing of it. I guess like how long it would take.
It seems
like,
to me that it was like
don't
a
know.
couple weeks that they were around.
Probably.
He said the work of 15 days.
Yeah, so maybe
Now-
2 weeks. Yeah.
So is 15 days how long he was sitting in the place with the curate? Or is 15 days how long it's been since they landed? It's not clear.
Ooh. Yeah. I kind of took that to be it is 15 days, like, because like that was when he was talking. Was that when he was talking with the artilleryman? No, I don't think so.
It was the chapter
right?
before.
Okay. Work of 15 days. Yeah.
According to
right,
that
the
map,
stillness.
half
Right.
of China is not considered Oriental.
Huh.
Which is a little weird because Orient means east, but
Yeah.
and the south of China is Oriental, but not the north.
Hmm.
Wow, that was a distraction.
All good. Yeah. I was expecting it, but also I was like, oh, alright. They died. Neat.
Chapter 9, Wreckage.
Wreckage.
Is that how you spell wreckage?
Yes.
Because it looks wrong to me.
It is not.
I feel like there should be a C in there.
Is there no C?
It was
For you?
Wreakage.
They misspelled it. No, there's a C in mine. That's how it's supposed to be spelled. Because it's wreck, edge.
Did I?
WRECK. Did you misspell it?
I misspelled it. I wrote it down and I was like, man, that's so weird. Why did they spell it that way? Like, as I was writing it down, I was wondering why they spelled it with an A.
Oh Oh my god.
Damn.
Gotta love Benadryl and steroids.
Yeah, that was when I was dissociating.
Probably. Oh no.
Speaking of, the narrator dissociates and finally returns home where he finds his waifu.
Well, the first thing that happens is he learns that Leatherhead was fucking destroyed. And
Oh yeah,
like,
he's
like nobody survived, and you're like, he's like, oh, I'm sad, my wife is dead, and then she's not.
the moment they were like, everybody died, I was like, nah, she's alive. Nah.
Nah.
And she turns off. I was like, wow, what a surprise.
Yeah. Oh no. Also, he mentions he's like, well, actually, in the line, he goes, and there, amazed and afraid, even as I stood, amazed and afraid.
Naked and
Wait,
afraid.
he said that twice. Amazed and afraid. There they were, amazed and afraid, were my cousin and my wife. My wife, white and tearless, she gave a faint cry. I was like, who the fuck's this cousin? He hasn't mentioned his cousin before. He mentioned his brother.
His cousin is the one who was at Leatherhead.
Is that who she stayed with? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I forgot about that. It's been so long since I've been to Leatherhead. I forgot who the cousin was.
Chapter 10. Epilogue. The narrator discusses the way things are after the war, and how it looks like they may have gone to Venus instead. He glosses over the fact that they apparently found the secret to flight, courtesy of the last chapter, and describes basically how he's suffering from PTSD.
And how the Martians have no bacteria on their planet.
Them Martians ain't got no bacteria up on their
like,
planet there.
They died of disease on account of the no bacteria, and I went, my guy, are you kidding me?
on account of the no bones. They got no bones.
They got no bones. It's just bones.
You got no bones, Lieutenant Dan.
So yeah, that was War of the Worlds.
War of the Worlds.
Full summary.
What a nickel.
So shall we discuss the book?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, this thing that we're here for.
Go.
Go. Overall thoughts. It was okay. I wasn't really into it, to be honest, but I liked parts of it.
There were definitely really nice parts, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, that's the wrong chat.
Like,
yeah, I kind of enjoyed the beginning where they were like first discovering them, and I enjoyed the
neat
bits when he was discussing, just like talking about them and the way they worked and everything like that. Most of the action stuff was like, and the bits where he was just wandering and
oh my god,
talking about every single road that he went on in London.
Yeah.
Twice. He did that twice. He did that when his brother was going every single place in London. He did that when he went every single place in London. Dude was just walking around London writing down where he was.
Yeah.
Like, but
yeah.
I liked the like I said, if it was like a fictionalized scientific manuscript or something, or like research notes, that'd be really cool. I would
research notes would be neat. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like if he was a scientist or something, and
this
was his account of the the first contact.
Yeah. Like I think I really was hoping to connect with a character, because I usually, whenever I'm reading something, I generally like the main character. I'm like, yeah, in some aspect I like them, or I like other characters, and maybe I was hoping too much for that. Also, I was probably expecting a little more action, maybe, just because aliens. But I mean, It's probably just because of my exposure to sci-fi stuff.
Well, they hadn't
Like,
invented
it's really
action in the 1800s yet.
No, that must be it. But I understand that this is a very prolific sci-fi piece of sci-fi literature because it started a lot. It just maybe I built it up a little bit too much, and then I was just like, there's a lot of like they went into this town and this city, and then people were screaming, and there were bodies everywhere, and I'm like, I've known this for like 3/4 of the book. And like the pacing was weird in that he has that he focuses on that as most of his book is his like there's like 3 things that happen constantly. It's like he describes where he is, like the city, the town, whatever. He sees people screaming or people dead, and he thinks about his wife because he's sad that he left her in Leatherhead.
And he sees aliens in the distance and is like, oh shit, aliens in the distance, and then doesn't do anything about it.
Yeah, and then he just, I gotta get away, which, I mean, fair. And then, so that's most of the book is this, and then in literally 2 chapters, maybe not even, suddenly the aliens are dead from disease. It's a very sudden, but it's worded to say like they've been dead for a while, and I'm like, because I just came upon them, and I was like, yeah, but there's no lead up here. It's constantly this, and then shoots up to be like, oh, it's done, no more aliens. I'm like, oh okay. So I don't know. I didn't love it, but I liked similar, like the moments that you were describing. I enjoyed them. I just sometimes I think it just has to be worded in a certain way for me to really catch my attention. Because like sometimes when I come across like moments where he's like talking about their anatomy, I'm like, that's interesting, but also I really want to see some action happen. Because like aliens are attacking, and this man is just talking about like, well, I went to Woking and I popped by London. Shit's bad there. Sorry, what, Aries? Pop by Tesco. Just get some groceries. Yeah, no. Yeah.
Went for a cheeky Nando's.
For some cheeky Nando's. Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly the little bits of action there were just like they weren't
they're very short, if anything. Just my opinion.
Yeah, and a little chaotic.
Yeah.
The point where it's like, what's going on? What?
Yeah.
Did he hit him with the axe? Did he kill him with the axe? It's like
But I like you, I also really did like, I liked the beginning where they were discovering the aliens. That kind of like
cool
intrigue. I was like, this is neat. You're like, I don't fully expect what these things are going to be.
But now it's like, I've seen them. I've described them. You want me to describe them again? Hey,
yeah,
look,
again?
I saw them again.
They got their heat ray. It sucks.
Have you heard about the heat ray? Have you heard about the heat ray?
I'm glad I read it, says Guru, but I wouldn't say it was well written.
No. I enjoyed, as far as books go, the second book I enjoyed more as a whole. The first one I enjoyed more parts of. If that makes sense.
That, yeah.
Because there's just a lot more happening in the second one. Like, it's just like, it was a much faster clip, and it's such a short story that it's like, once it gets to there, it's like, okay, yeah, cool. We're getting on with the story. It's getting towards the end. Like, I can see the end. Maybe I liked book 2 a lot because it was closer to the end of the book, so I knew the end of the book was coming faster.
Book one by far because
I had trouble caring about what was going to happen next.
Same. Because I didn't care about the characters that much. I was like, okay, well, everybody's dying, and
like, I was curious to see how the aliens were sent away and that.
Yeah.
But like, I just don't care what happens. Like, it was like they're swatting humans aside. I'm just like, cool. Like, get out of the way. Fucking humans. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, I just don't give a shit that going back to me being a psychopath. It's just, He didn't make me care about humanity.
That is an excellent summary, actually, because I felt very similar, which is sad because I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of death going on, but it's like there's an overabundance of this everything that he's describing, and I'm like, yeah, there is. Like, okay.
Oh yeah, they calling the curate a silly woman. Be a man.
He called him. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's so funny. Relationships between the characters could have been so much better, but it was just blah. Yeah, nothing really stuck for me.
I will, to his defense, I don't think that was the point. Like, he was writing it as an account of what happened.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it was an account that he didn't necessarily have a lot of story
emotion in for an account. Like,
yeah.
Oddly enough, it would have probably come across better if it was more dry. Because
in what way?
Well, he tries to humanize himself, but just it doesn't make himself likable.
Okay. Yeah.
He tries to humanize himself, but then half the time he's not human. So if he was just writing an account of what happened, and leaving out the fact that it's like, and I felt this great despair come over me and wandered for many days in a haze. It's like, okay.
Yeah. It's okay, buddy. Yeah.
I don't care. Just, yeah, I was upset for a while and wandered for 4 days. That is, boom, you've written that entire section.
Yeah. Not to mention, I feel like I wanted to see, like, I wanted to see more of what the aliens were doing necessarily, but I understand why we didn't, because, like, they are established as a threat once people get close to them. So people are not going to get close to them, including the narrator. But at the same time, like, a lot of what they did was just the same. They took out their heat ray. When they would bring out a new mechanism or a new, like, method, like the black vapor, I was like, okay, interesting, cool. But, like, we didn't, like, we saw skeletons, we saw, all the, like, and we heard about, like, most of the book was him being like, oh yeah, I heard that aliens fucking decimated this one town. That sucks. I came close to one once and it was not good and I ran. Like, I feel like they were a threat, and I know that they were a threat because they were fucking just murdering everybody. But, like, we didn't actually get a lot of that. Most of the book was just him wandering around and seeing the scared people.
Yeah. It really just was, wasn't it? Yeah. I don't know.
If it was just philosophy dragged out a long while, yeah. I'm still glad I read it.
It wasn't bad. Like, it was interesting.
It wasn't really my thing.
I liked bits of it.
Yeah.
I'm glad I read it because it's a classic, and I've read it now.
Yeah.
And I can see how it's interesting to see how it fits into our culture as well.
Yeah, actually, most of my points of discussion have been touched on, but yeah, I said it earlier. I said, like, oh, I wanted to talk about, like, is the curate and what happened to him, like, a perspective on, like, is the other trying to say something about religion? I mean, obviously, like, a lot of people died. It wasn't just religious dudes, but
it was just the religious people who died.
The aliens were like, fuck these guys. They're idiots. But yeah, the curate was like it was such a focus in the book up until he died, so I was like, I feel like he's saying something here. But it's kind of muddled because the main character also adopted religiosity. Yeah. I mean, of the time, like, I'm sure that's.
Well, he also was insane at that point.
Fair.
Which you do have to be insane to care about religion, so.
But yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we touched on a lot of stuff. I mean, other than the fact that what we haven't touched on is why the dogs are the goodest boys, because they are running from danger, and then they are eating fucking rotting corpses of Martians.
And they don't know the difference.
Good food.
They don't know about
Some
Mars.
good fucking food.
Dogs don't know what Mars is.
I don't know. Half the viewers leave after that hot religion take. No, it was interesting. I enjoyed reading it generally. I think it was also like quite a change from Name of the Wind as well.
It
So
was
that kind of
definitely
maybe
a change
that
from Name of the Wind, yes.
that probably threw me off a little bit, but
It was a
not
change.
that I expect every book to be the same.
It was a
but...
change by about 100 years and two genres.
Yeah.
Like,
and less like 400 pages.
right. Yeah.
Definitely changed from something wind. Guru, I don't think you read that one, right? The book I totally read, yes, And that was the conclusion of our reading of The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells.
We're going to be back soon with our next session. We don't have a book picked out yet, but we should be by the time the next YouTube video goes out.
Probably.
Hopefully. We better.
It's true. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, till then, we'll see you off the dulcet tones of Ekamy's printer.
Yeah, just
Beep, 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 beep.
beep, beep, beep. See you later, guys.